today we're going to do a brief overview of leadership communication, of what we are going to learn in this class, and a little bit of background information in terms of how to navigate our site. If you've taken an online course, I imagine it'll be the same, and if you haven't, don't worry, we're using e-learning in ways that are very similar to what you've done in your face-to-face classes. So let's dive into thinking about the shell of our e-learning site and how you navigate it and where you can find information that you need. So in the blue font there, the course home, content, communication, and assessments, that's where you're going to find the vast majority of the information you need for this course. Course home is where I'm going to have weekly news items, the calendars there. A lot of times I will give you reminders. The content is the vast majority of our course, and that's where every week you're going to look at the module that corresponds with the week. So you're going to look at week 1 as we dive into our class. You'll also see that there is a module for assignment instructions, so you can always access those there. They're also embedded within the week in which we use them. So the week in which we start to do our reading reflections, you'll see the assignment instruction sheet in your module for that week, and also an assignment instructions. So I've built in some redundancy here just so you know that you have a number of ways to access the information. Beneath the communication tab is where you're going to find Dropbox, and that's actually where we are going to upload all of the assignments that you're doing. So all of your reading reflections, anything that needs to come in to be graded will go through Dropbox, aside from the discussions that you engage in that will be also underneath that communication tab. Finally, in assessments, that's where you're going to click on quizzes. It's kind of a misnomer because you will take your syllabus quiz through there, but then also when you take your midterm and your final exams, those are also accessible through the quizzes link. Okay. Are really to look at leadership from a communication perspective. Right? So we're doing that slightly differently than folks might do in business or in management. But by and large, we as communication students, faculty, we look and say communicate or leadership occurs because of communication. It's enacted through communication and because of communication. So with that in mind, that's why we'll spend so much time looking at relationships in organizations. We're also going to spend a fair amount of time looking at persuasion, because basically a very fundamental and simple way of looking at leadership, defining it, is the process of influencing others. Right? So we know that we need to be very adept communicators in order to persuade others to follow us. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about what is involved with being an effective leader, but also an effective follower. So leader is this glamorized word, it's a buzzword. We see leaders as scapegoats and heroes in society, but we don't take a lot of time to think about what it means to be a strong follower and how we can assist our leaders in that way. We're going to look at different leadership situations and figure out how we can and should adapt our communication to fit the situation, to fit our people, and to fit the needs of the situation. So maybe it's a deadline, maybe it is the complexity of a task. We're going to look and see how being really strong communicators is what positions us best in order to be successful leaders. And finally, throughout the class, you're going to have time to reflect on your own leadership behavior. You're going to be able to take moments at each week to see where you are, where you want to be, figure out how we can minimize that gap. We clear this overview video with what you will do on a typical week. So every week you're going to see a weekly overview video, and that just gives you a chance for me to explain a little bit more background information to you. And what I mean by that is, before you dive into an assignment or reading, I'm just going to give you some information that I would probably preface in face-to-face classes just so you have a little bit more context as you dive into assignments and the work that you're doing. After you look at the overview video, I would like you to look at the module task document. It's just a Microsoft Word document, but it's going to go through and step by step explain to you what is due that week, where you upload it, when it's due. Before listening to the lectures, I think it will be more beneficial for you to complete the readings. The majority of your readings are coming from the course text, the Hackman and Johnson book, but there are a number of reading reflections and other chapters that I have made available in e-learning, which you'll see in the particular modules. And then finally, complete all of the tasks. By and large, all of your tasks are due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday evening. There is one exception, however, and that one exception is when we're doing discussion posts. So you'll see that 3 weeks, including week 1, we're doing a discussion board. And with that, you are asked to do an initial post. So you will look at the question or prompt and formulate a response. That needs to be available by Friday evening at 11:59. And the reason that is the one thing that is due other than Sunday, because then we afford our peers a chance to think about what we've said and to respond. Because for all of your discussion posts, you will do an initial response, and then you'll also be asked to respond to at least 5 of your peers. And these will be substantive discussions that go beyond I agree or me too. And you'll see in the assignment module and also in the weekly modules, there's a lot more detailed information about expectations for discussion posts and other related assignments. So I want us to dive in now. So you'll see in the content portion, there's a module called Start Here, and then you'll go into week 1. And please, if you ever have any questions, reach out to me. I'd much rather spend a few minutes over email or on a phone conference or on Skype, touching base and making sure you have all the information you need, than you submitting assignment and losing some points needlessly. So here's to a great semester.